Friends, you and I find ourselves in a bit of a difficult position today. You see this, the 2021 Lexus LC500 Convertible. By decree of some obscure international law, we are not allowed to drive it together until July 29th. That's over a month from today. Now, we really can't kick a pre-production prototype out of the hangar, especially one this attractive. So while we got her here, why don't we do a tech review? See what the differences are between the Coupe and the Convertible. There's more than you think. And then we'll come back together on July 29th and drive this very pre-production prototype. So with that, let's start the tech review. Making a convertible out of a coupe is not as easy as simply chopping off the roof and calling it a day. In reality, it's an engineering balancing act between adding structural rigidity and minimizing weight gain. A couple of examples of that. Up front, they lowered the unsprung weight. The suspension braces, they relocated and made them a bit lighter. Then they added a further brace back here that sits between the two shock towers in the back, and this piece itself is made of die-cast lightweight aluminum. Now, what does that translate to in weight of the vehicle? Well, there is a weight gain. It's 217 additional pounds over the coupe for a total of 4,497 pounds. Let's go into sport here and talk trends. You know how like M cars and other Lexus have had piped in fake sound, synthesized electric sound? It's not the case here. It's piped in, but it's not synthesized. It is real sound. So let's downshift a bit here. That's first gear. Oh my God. It's got a little controlled backfire, but let's downshift and make that, oh my God. It's even better knowing that that's real. What a nice change, especially with a car with an open roof. The only problem here is you'll want to do this a lot to get the sound better, which will absolutely lay an atomic bomb on your fuel economy. Oh my God, but who cares? Working in conjunction with some of those structural changes is a change to the driving dynamic setup, specifically the dampers. Now, over the years, you and I have seen a trend with most luxury car manufacturers. When they transition a coupe to a convertible, they'll change the suspension calibration to offset the additional weight of the vehicle. If I'm reading the tea leaves correctly, that's what's going on here. Speaking to Lexus directly, they don't give a lot of detail. They simply say that the convertibles are fitted with a performance damper that's different than the damper that's in the coupe. Apple CarPlay is not at all new to the Toyota Lexus universe, but Android Auto is. This is the first Lexus, I believe, that is fitted with Android Auto as standard from the factory. So it works within the entire universe of all the devices nowadays. It's actually not just those two. It's that as well as Alexa and Google Home devices. That said, it's not a wireless integration. We'd really like to see that in such a fancy car. The construction of the roof is very similar to what we've seen from the likes of Mercedes and Porsche over the years, in that there's multiple layers. Here it looks like there's only two layers. The headliner and the actual roof itself. In reality, there's four layers. There's the headliner, the canvas roof on the outside, this portion on the inside, and then there's insulation that's sandwiched between the two. And what the insulation does, it's thicker padding, and it goes over the bows that make up the structure of the roof, so you don't have that hungry cow look when the roof is up. It makes it look more uniform, almost like it's a hardtop, even though it's a canvas top. And thank you for making this a canvas top. These are so much prettier. The rear of the canvas top, it has a real glass rear window with a defroster, and it's on offer in black, which you see here, and beige. And just a side note here, this color infrared looks stunning on this car in person. With a caramel interior, I would have gone with a beige top. While we're on the topic of that top, it can go up and down up to 31 miles an hour. And what's interesting is there's a difference in the speed of the operation based on up or down. So it'll go down in 15 seconds, but it'll go up in 16 seconds. At the time of this filming, these are not available for sale. However, one has already been sold. But before we dive off into that, need to give you a little bit of guidance because I don't yet know the pricing, which is why the options game has to wait until the coming full first drive review. But as a basis of comparison, the Coupe, they range what, $95,000 to about $105,000, depending on engine and options. So you know this is going to be somewhat north of that. Well, the first car was sold in January of 2020 at Barrett-Jackson in Scottsdale for $2 million. Now, before you have a heart attack, that wasn't $2 million given to either Toyota or Lexus. The car was donated to two charities, the Boys and Girls Club of America, as well as something near and dear to my heart as the son of a Navy veteran, the Bob Woodruff Foundation. They raised money for programs for veterans. So the money was split between the two of them. And the car itself was special, aside from being just a charity car, in that it was VIN 001, and then it was part of what they call the Inspiration series, so it was kind of a one-off color. It was stunning, Santa Maria, Madre de Dios. This very dark blue, they called it structural blue. The interior was two-tone. It was structural blue on the outside of the seats, and then white on the inside of the seats and the dash. And the pièce de résistance, the roof, that was blue as well. Please, oh please, Suga-san, can we have the blue roof in more colors? I would be very grateful. So, now that we understand some of the differences, I'm going to ask you to come back on July 29th of 2020 when we will both drive the 2021 Lexus LC500 Convertible, as well as play a full round of the options game. Until I see you then, or hopefully in an episode before then, bis später.